I like to start by getting good quality images from sites like Google Images and from free stock photo sites, and so that I don't get into the copyright issues. And I'm looking for something like military base, and I'm searching for keywords like military base and factories and military vehicles. And military vehicles can be transformed into a building too. I'll show you how. So I like this image because I can extract from the background easily. What makes a good reference is the good lighting condition and the ability to extract the elements from. So I like that. Oil rig and industry can also be used as a keyword to get the images that I need for this particular painting. So I'm looking for the perfect image. This image may not necessarily end up exactly like that in the painting. I may end up destroying it. I may end up creating something new from this by mixing and matching. But these images are just for me to start from. So I like these images, and now I'm trying to search from Google military outpost. Make sure you choose the label for reuse with modification, because that will show you free images. Oil rig. All right, this image is going to be fine for the oil rig. And now I'm looking for rock formations. All I'm looking for is some interesting rock formation, and I don't have to gather too many of that. Just 3 or 4 will do, or even less. And as I said, you don't have to exactly copy the photo and copy the elements from the photo and paste it in your painting. You can mix and match and create something new from that. And sometimes these photos can act like a texture to fill in the spaces. I'm also looking for a good lighting condition, because the lighting condition that I have is soft lighting condition, and I have that in my mind, the lighting condition of my painting. So the images which I'm looking here, I need to be careful of that. So I like this for the sky. Knowing what you need, what kind of photo you need for your painting is really important. And take your time and search for the right kind of photo, then looking for every kind of photo that you find. You have to know what is right, which is going to help your painting. Okay, so here is the image that we did previously, and now let's take it to the next level and really use the photo bashing technique to add some detail in it and create a believable environment. So the first thing which I like to do is to separate my elements into different layers, and that gives me crisp and clean edges, and I'm able to easily paint with new textures and do some photo bashing without needing to erase the edges again and again. So this is the best method to separate the sky and the background, the foreground and middle ground into different layers for much better productivity and ease of use. So for the sky, because the sky dictates the lights, and because of that, I'm using this photo to first establish my sky, turn it into a black and white, and I'm trying to see what composition is working, what areas of cloud is gonna work. I don't want to focus too much on the clouds because it's not the focal area. So, and because it's a misty environment, the clouds are not going to be that pronounced in the end. So this is just a starting point, and we are going to be overpainting it, transform that to fit a little better. Flipping the canvas can reveal many mistakes in the composition and in different areas. So I have a key that is dedicated to flipping the canvas. You can do that from the image menu, and then you can choose the option to flip the canvas. So taking the smoke brush to simulate my misty environment. This is just rough, and I'll be tweaking that later on. Very quickly setting up my values, not thinking too much about the cloud formation because it's not going to be that visible. The clouds are not going to be that visible. Take another layer. It's all about trial and error. So if I paint something and I don't like it, then I can just quickly go back and do it again. Let's group these for ease of use. And then we have background, and let's take this mountain and just quickly give some texture to our background mountain. This may not be the final mountain, final texture for the background mountain, but because this has the hard lighting condition and the lighting direction is totally opposite. So what I'm trying to do is to just get a kickstart my whole process and get some quick texture from this image. And the images that we downloaded from the internet, we don't have to necessarily use the elements from those images and directly use that in our painting without changing it. We can definitely change it and transform it and make something new out of it by mixing and matching. So don't worry about losing your photo bash. If you care too much, then it's not going to be your original. And because it's not matte painting, so we don't have to worry about our texture that much. I'm now adjusting the texture to fit according to the value structure that the background mountain has. Taking the layer mask and using a soft brush to erase some parts of it. Layer mask is really useful technique to erase and paint back the detail just by switching the color from black to white and now changing the layer blending mode, and with the levels adjustment layer I can always try and experiment with the outcome of the texture. If I like it, then I keep it. If I don't, then I erase it. All right, so in this image I think this is going to be better than the previous one because it's got a cool rock formation and the lighting condition is better, and I can easily manipulate it to fit into my lighting scenario. So it's just about placing the photos to see if it is fitting in that area or not. Levels adjustment to correct the value. At this distance, the detail level is gonna be less. The darken mode will remove the lighting information and will maintain the darks. Slight adjustment of values using the levels. Control L is the levels key in Windows. Erasing some parts. Most of the time I use this layer mask tool often, and that gives me the ability to control area which I want to reveal and in the areas which I want to hide. Now grouping that into one, which is background. Let's take another image, and now I'm trying to find some cool rock formation for the midground area, and I think this might work. So let's try making it black and white by going to hue saturation mode, and the shortcut for the hue saturation mode is Control U in Windows. Adjusting the values. And because I know that my environment is gonna contain mist and atmosphere, a lot of atmosphere, so the darks are not gonna be that dark. So that's why I need to control everything. Separating the foreground into a separate layer so I could paint the midground and without worrying about the foreground element. Let's call it a foreground layer. Move it up. This is midground. Now it's just a matter of seeing where it's appealing to place. My initial concept has the design language of the rock formation is pointy and edgy, but this photo has the rock formation which is somewhat organic. So I cannot use the whole image, and I'm trying to use the darker areas just to sculpt more detail in it in my sketch and give some depth and detail. So I'm erasing a lot of it just to give me some direction. You don't have to use the whole you don't have to use and maintain the photo. You can use the photo as a texture too. So this area is fine. Let's erase it. Let's erase some of it. It's somewhat darker, so let's lighten it by erasing it. And I'm also using the eraser because this is not matte painting and we can get away with erasing like that. Otherwise, if it was a matte painting, we would have to be very careful with our masking approach. I like this rock formation, so let's try to use this. It's all about the correct placement of photo in your scene. So I'm constantly trying to see where the photos will fit and will give the desired effect. Adjusting the values. Layer masking to hide some areas. That was a bit harsh, so let's try to remove it, remove some parts of it, copy it, and let's flip it. Because we already have some light information there, so the blacks, so using the blacks only will will be fine. And I'm using this layer on a darken mode. Values adjustment using the levels. Okay, so I like this area in this image, and let's try to apply that. I like the darker parts, so let's transform and flip it. Control U and desaturate.